Hello again, and welcome to Chapter 2 of my walkthrough for achieving an S rank on No Hope difficulty for Leon's campaign in Resident Evil 6. This chapter is easily the most difficult in Leon's campaign in my opinion. It really feels like two chapters smashed into one. There are two boss fights, one of which I think is the most dangerous in the entire game, at least on No Hope. This run was not the smoothest, and I definitely came close to dying quite a few times, as you're about to see, but I survived with an S ranking, which is the most important thing. I actually despise this opening section on the bus here. This time I was lucky enough not to take any damage, but most of the time I find it difficult to not get hit here at least once in the opening seconds of this encounter. There really is no consistent strategy here that I've found. You really just have to unload on these zombies with your handgun the instant that you gain control of Leon and pray that you don't get hit. After you kill the zombies closest to you, I recommend pulling out your knife and just spamming the attack button. You should be able to fend off any zombies that get close to you. Also, don't forget to pick up the handgun ammo right beside you.
Leon, Helena, are you okay?
Yeah. For whatever reason, we're still alive.
We're cutting through the cemetery to reach the cathedral.
And here we are at the cemetery. This is a relatively small area that is nevertheless quite dangerous, as the zombies spawn at random here and they have a tendency to sneak up on you. You'll want to listen carefully to Helena here, because if she starts shooting, you'll know that there are zombies that need killing. You should be able to kill all of the zombies here with your knife, melee, and counterattacks. You don't want to waste any handgun ammo at all on these particular zombies.
Roger.
On your way back to the dog with the key, you're gonna encounter several other dogs, which makes this next stretch very sketchy, because as we've established, dogs are some of the trickiest enemies to deal with. What you'll want to do, ideally, is stand a good distance away from them and provide a clear path for them to run and jump at you, which will give you a perfect opportunity to counter them. Sometimes, though, the dogs just won't play nice, and instead will jump all around you and get close to you before trying to attack you. which is very bad because close combat with a dog is usually a recipe for disaster. And sometimes, like you'll see here, you just fail the counter timing and get grabbed. Like I said in the last chapter, the counter timing for dogs is tricky. You do want to counter them though, because dogs on No Hope have a shitload of health. Seriously, these things can take 4 shotgun blasts to the face. It is possible to just run past all this stuff straight to the dog with the key and take that dog out, but it's really not that safe. Often what will happen when you try to do that is that you'll kill the dog, you'll make your way back to the gate, and Helena will get caught up dealing with like a million dogs and zombies, or a bunch of enemies will follow you to the gate and corner you there on that bridge. So it doesn't happen every time, but I really don't recommend it because it is quite dangerous. I do think it is better just to stand back and try to pick off the enemies one by one, even though that can be a little bit tedious and, of course, dangerous in its own right. So one thing this game actually doesn't tell you, and that you just saw right there after I got grabbed by the dog, is that when you get grabbed and you get the prompt to swirl your joystick around to break free, it'll actually go twice as fast if you toggle both joysticks at once. Again, the game doesn't tell you that. It would have been really nice for them to do so, and it doesn't seem immediately obvious, but that is the best way for breaking free of a grab. Normally shooting a dog is a really good way to get them to aggro to you and run up to you and set yourself up for a counterattack, but for some reason the AI on this dog started freaking out and being really weird, so I kind of had to chase it around a little bit, which is very nerve-wracking.
Now let's get to that cathedral. Okay, we're in.
Got it. Leon, are you all right?
Well, nothing broken anyway. Good thing, too. Kinda doubt you'll be doubling back for me.
This crypt section is pretty short and has a few zombies that you can easily take care of. It also has a few shriekers, but to be honest, they aren't really worth killing, and it's better to just run past them, in my opinion. The important thing here is to grab this green herb and head for the courtyard gate and wait for Helena as quickly as you can.
Roger. You got it.
Man, you're a sight for sore eyes.
Thanks. You coming into this cathedral with me, or what?
I see it. Hurry. You got it. Hello? I know someone's in there. Open up!
Are you crazy? Those things will kill us!
Look, it's just us. Hurry up and let us in.
This courtyard section is really rough, especially if you don't make it a priority to kill enemies right away. You really want to be aggressive because this area will fill up with enemies very quickly and make this part an absolute nightmare. I like to use an incendiary grenade on this initial wave of zombies and pick the rest apart with a mixture of the knife, the handgun, and melee attacks. One thing I didn't mention in the first chapter is that you need to keep an eye out, particularly for enemies with weapons, because if you're able to execute a grab attack on a weapon carrying zombie, you will automatically use that weapon against them and kill them instantly. Therefore, picking weapon carrying zombies out of a crowd and stunning them can be a very useful tactic. One way to easily stun a zombie is to slide at them. It can be a little tricky to connect on a slide because of the weird way that sprinting controls in this game, but if you can connect with it, it will put you at a significant advantage. I recommend taking care of the bloodshots with long-range counterattacks as soon as they appear, because otherwise you can get into a situation with 4 or 5 of them running around at once, which is just chaos. If they aggro to Helena instead of Leon, just stay near Helena and you should be able to counter them. There will also be shriekers running around. The best advice I can give is to keep an eye on them and wait for their chest to puff up and start glowing orange, then run up and kill them with a well-placed shotgun blast to the chest before they can scream. I don't recommend just shooting them like you would a normal zombie because that takes a lot more ammo and you'll probably waste a lot of time chasing them around. When you find a safe opening for both Helena and Leon, head for the door and press circle.
Putting along the line trusting you. I hope this info of yours is worth it.
It is. Stake my life on it.
Come on, get inside! Hurry!
this chapel doesn't have too much going on right now. There are a few items to get here on the lower floor, including a precious green herb. So go ahead and grab that before doing all the dumb puzzles the game makes you do before the boss. I won't really comment on the puzzles because they're pretty self-explanatory, and if you've played this game before, you probably know exactly what to do.
This isn't just part of the decor.
You're right. And there's more here than... There are stairs under this statue. It was open the last time I was here. Shit. What do we do?
Now we'll figure something out. Let's take a look around.
Okay. I knew it.
Nothing. We must be missing something. The two motherly saints will reveal the path. Identical to the other one. Something tells me they're not just for show.
You got it.
Oh, shit! Are you okay?
Elena.
Roger.
I'm not being rescued.
Oh God.
Hey.
Help me.
Now we're getting somewhere.
I've had enough of these games. Let's go.
Roger.
Leon, pushing the switch on these statues needs to shut them down.
You got it.
This is gonna get a little bit dicey.
We don't have time for this crap.
There isn't much advice I can give for this statue part,
Stop me.
aside from just trying to sprint perpendicular to their laser sights as much as possible. That way it'll make them harder for them to hit you. I find that I usually get hit at least once in this section, but since an arrow shot only takes off one block of health, it's not necessarily the biggest deal in the world. It's better to do this bell section with the handgun rather than the sniper rifle because we really want to save all of our sniper ammo for the boss that we're about to fight.
That's all of them. Kinda feel bad shooting antiques. Did you hear that?
I hope it was a door. Come on.
Alright, here comes the hard part. This boss, which I think is called Lepotica, if I'm pronouncing that right. I really have no idea. The proper names for the enemies in this game are absolutely crazy. But anyways, it's a very dangerous boss for a few reasons. The first of which is that when you shoot it, it will emit these little spurts of poison from its body, which will damage you if you are too close to it. Secondly, it will periodically stop and unleash a massive cloud of poisonous gas, which both damages you if you're too close and turns the people into the church into hostile zombies. For both of these reasons, you really want to maintain a healthy distance at all times. This boss takes an absolute shitload of ammo to kill. There's just no other way to put it. This boss is the reason that we've been so careful with our ammo to this point. You're gonna need to unload everything you've got. Use all of your remote bombs, all of your incendiary grenades, all your sniper ammo, just everything. At a certain point in the fight, the boss will climb up to the second floor, which is a good time to catch it with some remote bombs. Also, it's a pretty good idea to spam your grenades when it's doing its big gas cloud attack, so long as you keep your distance. Beyond that, there really isn't that much strategy involved beyond shoot it until it dies. And by the way, there will be zombies after you too, so you need to be on the lookout for those. Once the boss is finally dead, grab the key card and head underground. The worst of this chapter is over, but we are not nearly out of the woods yet. This next section is quite long and features a lot of close quarters combat with some zombies, which, even if you know what you're doing, still presents the risk of making a silly mistake and paying dearly for it, which definitely happened to me in this run.
Yeah. You got it.
Wish I believed God were looking out for us right now. But I think we're on our own.
When you get to the keypad, enter the numbers 201 and 210. The first will open a door with a couple of crates, and the second will open the main gate.
Got it.
At the second keypad, enter 012, 201, and 021. The first door reveals a couple of zombies, but the second one behind those zombies has an herb, a first aid spray, and some crates, so you'll definitely want to open that one.
It's open, let's go.
You got it. Wait, I remember this place. Deborah must be close.
Who?
Please be okay. Oh, please, no. Thank God. Not her. But where is she? Come on, where are you?
The door on the left side of the hallway here has some crates, while the second door on the right has a red herb.
She's not here either.
Be careful coming back into this hallway though, because there are a bunch of zombies here that will wake up as you progress.
getting kind of tired of you stringing me along. Are you gonna fill me in here or what?
I will. It's just... We're running out of time. Please, Liam. Bear with me a little longer. Roger.
What the hell is all this?
None of these were here 3 days ago.
Ada? What the hell did I just see, Ada?
So that woman or whatever.
Kind of. Yeah.
After the cutscene, press 201 on the keypad to open the door at the end of the hallway. Once you're through, you're going to enter a section of the game where you and Helena are going to have to pull a series of levers to progress, all while having to deal with a large number of zombies. The best advice I can give here is to pay close attention to your surroundings, because zombies will enter from all corners of this area and have a strong potential to sneak up on you when you're not looking.
I get it. You have to activate them one by one.
Why does everything have to be complicated?
Come on, Helena. We gotta activate this thing.
You gotta activate this thing.
A large number of zombies are going to meet you in this small area here, so I highly recommend making effective use of the exposed battery. If you shoot it, it'll shock any zombie within a certain radius, so if you can get a few zombies to cluster around that area, you can really use the battery to your advantage. Easier said than done though, because there isn't much room to maneuver here and the zombies will spawn in continuously for quite a while. One of the many, shall we say, quirks of this game is that enemies are actually able to move during unplayable cutscenes. Because of this, you'll sometimes find yourself in situations like I found myself in here, where a cutscene finishes and all of a sudden you're surrounded by enemies that were a safe distance away from you prior to the cutscene. The safest way to react when this happens is just to immediately start rolling as the cutscene ends, but sometimes you'll just get screwed like I did here. It's really dumb and probably my least favorite thing about this game, to be honest.
Roger. Finally, come on.
What you'll want to do here is pick off the Shrieker from a distance with your sniper rifle, but I kind of forgot to do that and ended up wasting some time chasing him around instead. A bunch of lab coat zombies will spawn in here, but it's best just to kind of sprint past them and wait for Helena near the chute, assuming there aren't a bunch of zombies already nearby.
Why can't you fill me in yet?
You probably didn't believe me. That's why I want to show you. When you're here, you have all the answers and proof for me.
So, back at that lab. That tape.
You confirmed in it? What's the story on her anyway?
Look, if you want answers, you should be prepared to give a couple yourself.
You're right. It's only fair.
This next part isn't too dangerous, but you'll still want to be extremely careful because Helena cannot revive you with Deborah on her back. One technique you're about to see here that I haven't mentioned yet is the quick shot. A quick shot, which you can perform by pressing L2 and R2 simultaneously, is a shot that will target the nearest enemy and stun them instantly. It does take off a full block of stamina, but it can be extremely useful, especially against enemies with weapons, because, as we've established, Stunned enemies with weapons can be killed instantly with a grab attack. And here you'll see I got hit by a spitter, my least favorite enemies, and I was unable to be revived by Helena because Deborah was on her back, so I had to make sure that I killed the spitter quickly before it was able to spit at me again and end the run.
Leon, help!
The roof is caving in!
Leon, Helena, where are you? I can't pinpoint your position at all. What the hell is going on?
Hunnigan, come in! God damn it!
As you can see, I'm extremely low on health right now, so I'm moving through this area a little more cautiously than normal. You're about to see the sniping prowess of the spitters, which is what makes them my least favorite enemy in this campaign. Seriously, these guys are insanely accurate and can hit you from places you wouldn't believe.
These walkways won't hold. We need to get to the lower levels.
So sorry, Deborah. It's all my fault.
You don't actually need to do anything during this first meeting with Monster Deborah. Just wait a few seconds and the next section with Ada will start. There isn't too much to note here, just remember that we're still well below the time threshold to get an S ranking, so there's no need to rush and get yourself into trouble.
Deborah, where are you?
But of course.
Here, don't get the wrong idea. It'll make sense later.
Okay.
Now the real fight with Deborah begins. Shoot her in one of her weak points on her tentacles to get her onto the ground. After that, you can use the barrels in the arena to stun her, at which point you or one of your allies can run up and perform a powerful QTE attack on her. You can also counterattack her, believe it or not. Just perform an aim counter about a second after she jumps into the air and you should be able to grab her. By using all of these methods, you should actually be able to get out of this boss fight while using very little ammo at all.
You should put her down. If you have any sympathy for her.
This is a nightmare. It can't be real.
Alright, now we have one more descent with a bunch of zombies to get through. The thing to be careful of here is the fact that parts of the bridge will actually fall down and hurt you if you're under them. So sprinting full steam ahead is kind of a bad idea. Again, we have plenty of time and we're almost done. So play it safe and hang back as much as you need to, picking off any zombies along the way. And now we begin a little section I like to call laying down, because that's really all you need to do in this minecart. You could stand up and shoot the obstacles or avoid them with precise QTE inputs, but why do that when you can just chill on your back, aiming at nothing? Believe it or not, you can continue lying down and doing nothing even after Deborah shows up. So long as you stay at the edge of the cart, she can't hit you. The only time you need to stand up is to shoot the barrel of dynamite. But after you do that, you really can just go back to laying down. One of the many odd things about Resident Evil 6 is that there are times when you literally don't have to do anything, even when it seems like the game really wants you to think that you do. It might seem logical that you would have to shoot the boss in this situation, but since logic isn't a priority in this game, you can just hang back and wait for it to be over. I learned something about the very last part of this chapter during this run that I actually didn't know before, which is that when your partner dies, it doesn't actually count towards your death count as far as the game is concerned. So here I failed to stop Deborah from killing Helena, and I thought the run was over. I did a few more attempts experimenting with the most effective way to handle this part, which I've edited out for the sake of brevity. I assumed that you had to hit Deborah's weak point, but I found that if you just unload sniper rounds into her body, you should have enough time to save Helena. Well, there it is. There you have it. S rank for Chapter 2 on No Hope. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time for Chapter 3. Later, guys.